it's Tootsie and I'm back. Now I have no makeup on, even though I love putting makeup on when I'm filming my videos. I didn't put anything on because I got a little sunburn the other day from the beach, so it kind of hurts putting makeup on. So my skin's a little sensitive, so I did try to film this video one day, but like my computer froze and like it just weird. I think I mentioned it in my last video. Like I made a quick video like saying that I was trying to film a video, then my computer froze. I was acting goofy the rest of the day, so I just tried to do it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, like the next day, and then it's like we lost power, and then life was just getting hectic, and I'm back, and so let's get into this. I am doing the 17 random questions tag, and it is for YouTubers, so how did you get your YouTube username? My nickname, Tootsie, I got it when I was at camp because I love Tootsie Rolls, and so I thought of when I become a camp counselor, I want my nickname to be Tootsie. And I did go to camp to be trained how, but I just never became one. That's a whole nother story why I didn't become a camp counselor, but that was going to be my nickname if I ever became a camp counselor. It was going to be Tootsie, so that's where my name came on YouTube. I kind of used the name Tootsie for a lot of things on social media because I was taught not to ever use your real name, you know, for emails or anything. You know, we come up with a nickname, and that's what I used, Tootsie. So, and the 2525 came back when I was in elementary school. Now, I don't know how schools work across the world, but I'm in Minnesota, and how my school district work is that every single student from, if you're like kindergarten, you don't get it if you're part-time kindergarten, but if you're full-time, you get it. But I was part-time kid, so I didn't get mine until I was in first grade. And what I'm talking about is a PIN number, because in my school district, every student got a PIN number when they were in kindergarten or first grade, whichever one they started, which was a full year, which you were there for the full day. And that was the PIN number you used to get lunch, because your parents would either write out a check or put money and put it in an envelope with your name on the front and your PIN number, and you would go turn it in to lunch ladies in the morning. And you wouldn't have to do that every day. It would be depending on how much money your parents put in there. And so when you go and get your lunch, and then they have like a little keypad, you know, just kind of like on a computer, you know, just the numbers 0 through 9, and you would type in your PIN number, and then it would subtract how much your lunch was to what your account was. And our lunch was like, it was like $2 and something, like every day, you know. It didn't change unless you got like an extra milk or you didn't get a milk at all, and it would change, but otherwise it was like $2 or something for a lunch. And so that's how my school district worked. And my PIN number, when I got in first grade, was 2525, and that's what I had from first grade all the way up to 5th grade. When I got to middle school and high school, my middle school, you know, was 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then my high school was 9, 10, 11, 12. They changed every year. But in elementary school, you got the same one the whole year, and that's where the 2525 came in. And it's just a number that's just stuck in my head. I can remember that. I can't remember any of the numbers I had. I can't remember what I had in 6th grade. I can't remember what I had in 7th grade. I can't remember what I had in 8th grade. I can't remember 9th, 10th, 11th. Well, I can't remember what they were. But for some reason, elementary school, I can remember that. So I just kind of use that online as well, because, you know, you have to have the 8 characters sometimes, you know, for names or passwords. So I usually just add the 2525 in there. So that's where it comes from. If you could change your name to anything, what would it be and why? Well, my real name has like a nickname in it itself, which I was called by growing up, so I would probably switch it to that. But since everybody knows me as that, I don't use that name online either, so maybe I'll tell you guys one day, but that would be the name, which was what everyone else calls me outside YouTube. If you could go back in time and give yourself advice, what would it be and why? I would probably try to get myself to tell myself to get good study habits. I had horrible study habits. I was a horrible test taker. I was basically passing, like, I wasn't like barely passing. I would get decent grades. I wasn't like an A student. I was like around a B- student. I was just above the C, but just kind of around there. because I would do fantastic on the homework and on projects, and I would participate in class when I would want to. I was very shy as a kid, so sometimes I would participate, sometimes I wouldn't. Depends on how I'm feeling. You know, I do have a little anxiety. So anyone with anxiety, you know, sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days, and that's how I was. If I was having a good day, yeah, I would be communicated during class, and I would get class participation. But I just kind of felt, if I felt kind of not feeling well, I would be shy and be like, I don't want to talk to anyone. So, but since I did so amazing on the homework and on the school projects and in class, since I did so amazing in the in-work class, that's how I would get good, because I would go above and beyond, but I just couldn't. It just like, because I could ask questions and have resources to do my work, but on the test it had to all be me remembering it, and I get test anxiety, and so then I just couldn't remember anything. So I would probably try to get myself in good study habits, because I didn't study I hardly ever studied, because like studying would just stress me out, because it would be like I would have to try to remember everything, and it was just like sometimes I understood something one way and it's not how it was. I'm supposed to understand it this way. And so I would probably try to tell myself, you gotta get good study habits. I know someone told me, I know it's hard, but you gotta do it, because it was hard when I got to high school and I didn't have good study habits. It was hard. It was even harder when I went to college for a little bit. It was hard not having those good study habits. So that's probably the advice I would give myself. How old were you when you first learned to blow a bubble with bubble gum? I was probably around 6 or 7 years old. What did you want to be when you were little? I always wanted to be, probably majority of the time, if you asked me what I wanted to be when I was younger, I would either tell you I want to be an artist, or I want to find some way that's going to help people in any way. Like, that's what I always wanted to be growing up. I always wanted to be an artist, or I always wanted to help people. And with me doing YouTube, I'm glad I found YouTube. I'm glad that I can do this, and it can be my own. I can do it my own way. I can do what I want, and I can hopefully help you, because watching YouTube has helped me. It keeps me calm. And, you know, if I'm having a bad day, I can watch YouTube. I can be happy. I can be happy again. That's why I love YouTube, and this is what I'm here for. I'm here for peer entertainment, peer to help people, advice. If you guys find this, you know, entertaining, or maybe I'll show you something that you guys think, oh, that's a good idea. I like that, you know. So that's what I always wanted to do when I was little. I always wanted to be an artist to help people. What do you order at Starbucks? I don't go to Starbucks. I don't go to Caribou. I do not like coffee. I do not like tea. I just don't like it. I'm not a coffee person. I'm not a tea person. I'm not even a pop person. I am a milk person. I am milk. Go milk. What's the hardest you ever laughed? I have no idea. I have no idea, because I'm a genuinely happy person. I genuinely laugh a lot because I want to be happy. So I don't know what the hardest I laugh. I've laughed so hard. I've cried. I've laughed so hard. I've wet myself a little. But let's move on. If you could play any musical instrument, which would it be and why? With me, I always wanted to either be a drummer or playing the guitar. Because, I don't know, the guitar, you know, always seems interesting. It seems like the most fun. It seems a lot of people to do it. So it seems really cool to know how to play the guitar. But me, I also want to be the drummer. Because I always said when I was younger, if I ever join a band, I want to be the drummer. Because the people that get the most attention in bands are the people in the front. The band, not the band, but the guitar players and the lead singers. They get the most attention. See, the drummers, they're in the back. And they're in a pit. They don't get much attention, so, you know, they just kind of follow along, you know, with the other band members that are becoming really famous. So it's like you're famous, but you don't get as much fame and hype. So that's what I always wanted to be. It's like I want to be famous, but I want people to know me, but, you know, not have so much over me. It's like, you know, they're more at the people who are in the front, the lead, the main parts of the band. So that's why my musical instrument I always want to play with the drums. What's your favorite thing to do when you're upset? Watch YouTube. I mentioned that earlier. Watch YouTube. What's your favorite movie? My favorite movie. If you asked me, like, when I was a younger kid, it would probably be Cinderella or Little Mermaid. But now, as I'm older, there are so many good movies out there. There are so many good movies. I just, like, with me, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I'm actually kind of rewatching some of the movies now again. I'm kind of having a little marathon. The past few weeks I've been having a little marathon. And I could watch those over and over and over and over again and never get sick of them. I would never get sick of them. Okay, moving on. What's your one food you cannot live without? One food I cannot live without. My favorite food, ever since I was little until now, is mashed potatoes and gravy. Creamy mashed potatoes, not really chunky mashed potatoes, really nice and creamy mashed potatoes with a nice dark gravy. It is delicious. I love it. I know people always say pizza and macaroni and cheese or like sushi. It's like, no, I'm mashed potatoes and gravy. What's your favorite dessert? My favorite dessert, chocolate. Chocolate, just it's chocolate. I would just eat chocolate by itself. Okay. Favorite pizza topping? Pepperoni. On this all traditional pepperoni. Would you rather have superpower to read minds or the superpower to be invincible? Or is that invisible? That's invisible, I think. Probably the superpower to be invisible. That way, if I'm just feeling all crappy and I don't want people to see me, I don't want to have any commitment, I can just turn myself invisible and just go do what I have to do and people don't have to communicate with me. See, I don't want to read minds because I don't want to know what other people are thinking. I don't want to know. They can keep their inner thoughts to themselves. I don't want to know what they're thinking. They can keep it to themselves. If they want to express what they're thinking, that's fine. But I don't want to know what people think that you don't express out loud. I don't want to know. I feel like that's kind of an act of privacy, that whatever you think in your mind that you keep to yourself, that is completely your business and you don't have to share it with anybody. So that's why I do not want to read minds. I do not want to know what people are thinking. What did you do for your last birthday? What did I do for my last birthday? My birthday is actually on Christmas Day, so we always do Christmas in the morning and my birthday at night. So we just did, our normal what I growing up. We had Christmas morning. I had my birthday here. I just have it always at home, and I liked it because I got a nice cake, my favorite cake, which is marble with chocolate frosting. So good. And I actually got like a lantern light for my birthday. I was just so happy. It was a good birthday. If you had one personal selfish wish, what would it be and why? Selfish. I would probably want to have lots of money, but what I probably would want more is to have my dad back, because my dad passed away when I was 18 in my senior year in high school of cancer, and he knew he had cancer, and he got it, and he went through the treatment of it, and when he went back, and supposedly it was gone, and when he went back to have a checkup, it came back, and it came back full force. Stage 4. It was actually stomach cancer, but it was in his esophagus. It was like from his back of his throat all the way down to his stomach. It was completely full of cancer, so he could not eat, and he was in a lot of pain. I was happy. I didn't want him to die, but I was just happy that he was out of pain. But I would want my dad back. But it's kind of hard because it's kind of selfish, because my mom has since moved on. She has found somebody else. She has moved on from it. It's just still hard for me because I wasn't quite ready for it. I know my mom was ready to move on, but I wasn't quite ready. But it was kind of, her life and her choices, so that's kind of selfish act. But I answered it because it was one of the questions, but normally I don't really want to ask for selfish acts of what I want, because I don't usually try to think of selfish acts like that. I try to stay positive of what the world is and what life is, and not try to think selfishly. because I feel like it puts you in a dark place, and it just makes you very sad, and because you can't get this selfish act, and so I try not to dread on it. So, but I am happy for my mom that she's moved on and she's found somebody. I am happy for her, but let's move on to a happier question. If you were a Pokemon, what would you be called? What would you look like? What Pokemon, what would I look like? Well, my favorite animals are cats, so I probably look like something kind of like a cat-like figure. I also like horses, and I think hedgehogs are really good, so maybe I'll be like some tall, long-legged horse with a big, long cat tail and whiskers, and I'll have like little soft spikes. I don't know. This is kind of sounding and started ugly to me. I don't know, and I have no idea what I would be called if I was a Pokemon. I never got into Pokemon when I was a kid. I never got into it. It just I was like in my own complete fantasy world of when Pokemon was really popular. I was in my own fantasy world, so it just never appealed to me. So, well, you guys, that's the 17 random questions, and of course, if you do videos and you want to do this tag, I tag you to do it. So I will, guys, talk to you guys later. Bye.